Okay, here we go. All right, so we'll start with some breathing because that's what we are all about. So sitting in a nice, comfortable, easy position, you can have your legs crossed. If it's uncomfortable, you can have them straight out. Maybe you want to have your hands on your knees with the palms up. You can keep your eyes open or you can close them. Just want to find our shoulders above our hips, lifting from the sternum to get some space in there for those lungs. And we're just going to start by noticing. Noticing the breath. Finding that connection between the inhale and the exhale. Sitting up nice and tall. Checking in with the body, see where you're holding tension in. Maybe taking an inhale, directing that breath towards that spot of tension. Using that exhale to draw the tension out of the body. Maybe you're feeling the tension in the ankles or the knees, the hips or the shoulders. Maybe that tension's in the back somewhere. Maybe you didn't even notice that you had it when you came into class today. Let's take another deep inhale, directing that breath to that tension. Grabbing that tension, releasing it with the exhale. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then coming back to your regular rhythm. We're going to do a little alternate nostril breathing today. So if you haven't done it before, you use your thumb and your ring finger, your right hand, thumb on the right nostril, ring finger on the left. And you can either tuck your fingers under the hand or they can rest up on the forehead. So we'll start with either the fingers up or tucked in. We're going to take the thumb and close off the right nostril. And take a nice deep inhale through the left nostril. Hold the breath for a moment, switching fingers, closing off the left nostril, exhale right. Take a nice deep inhale through the right nostril. Hold the breath, switch fingers, close off the right nostril, exhale left. Inhale left nostril. Hold the breath, close off the left nostril, exhale right. Inhale right nostril. Close off the right nostril, exhale left. We'll go a couple more rounds on your own at your own pace. Pausing a moment at the top to hold the breath before you exhale out the other side. Go ahead and do 2 more breaths, finishing on the right side. And when you are complete with both sides, we'll go ahead and bring both hands down to the knees. Maybe take a moment for a Kleenex break. We'll find find that nice tall posture again. Gently fluttering the eyelids open, gaze down on the floor to start, and then slowly bringing the chin and the eyes up, and ready to come into movement. So we're going to start with our far joints with our wrists. So if you want, bringing both arms all the way straight out, we're going to tuck the thumbs under, wrapping the fingers around, making circles around with the wrist. It's like Rice Krispies up here. Oh my God, it's so loud. One direction, the other, getting deeper into the elbows and shoulders. Feeling that movement coming in. And then if you'd like, clasping the palms together, wrapping the fingers around, we'll make our circle eights. Haven't worked up to going both directions with this. I'm still just at one. And then if you want to shake them out, we'll do our forearm stretch that they like Friday morning class. So we'll bring the fingers towards the chest. And then the thumb down towards the floor. And then switching hands, fingers of the left hand towards the chest. And thumb down towards the floor. Excellent. And then we're going to move down to the legs. So let's bring both legs all the way straight out. Been sitting here for a bit, so if you want to pound the legs into the mat, get some feeling back into them. We're going to start with the ankles. So we're going to bring the toes towards the chest, and then point and flex back and forth a couple times. Feeling those ankles starting to warm up a little bit, making circles around. Ankles aren't as crackly as the wrists. One direction, the other, maybe both directions at the same time. And then we'll finish up with our little windshield wipers, back and forth, feeling that internal, external rotation coming all the way up into the thighs. Excellent. Okay, from here, let's get a little neck and shoulder motion. Last night, I was doing this. Even yoga teachers have bad posture sometimes. So today we're gonna keep in mind where our shoulders are. So let's start with the neck, and you can keep your legs out straight if that's comfortable, or if you wanna cross them again, switch which foot you had in front. So coming up to the neck, we're gonna use our breath and move our head up and down. So we'll start with an inhale. Exhale, chin comes down to the chest. Inhale, back up. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, back up to center. And one more time, drop the chin to the chest with the exhale. Come back up with an inhale. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. You're going to inhale. One more time each side. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. If you want to bring this left arm out and over, bringing that left hand on top of the right side of the head, making space between that right ear and right shoulder. Giving gravity a little boost, no pushing or pulling, just gently resting. And then we'll release that left arm up. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Bringing that right arm up and over, right hand on top of that left side of the head. Making space between that left ear and left shoulder. Again, just a little gentleness with gravity. release that arm and bring the head back up to center. And then we're going to do a forward fold. So we're gonna start with, most of us have our legs crossed. If you wanna leave them crossed, you can. If you wanna bring them straight out, you can do that too. We're gonna hinge right here at the hips, and we're gonna use gravity. So we'll inhale both arms up, exhale, folding at the hips, coming down. Wherever you get, just bring your hands down. We're gonna take a couple breaths here. So with each inhale, we're gonna rise up just a little bit. Exhale, deepen the fold. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, deepen the fold. One more time, inhale, coming up. Exhale, forward fold. And then we're going to inhale, dragging the hands back, rounding the spine, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow, take your time. Excellent. All right, let's move the spine side to side. We'll start with this left hand on the floor. Make sure you're not gonna slip on anything. We'll inhale this right arm up and over. And exhale, coming back. Inhale, bringing that left arm up and over. Exhale, coming back. And I'm going to let you go at your own pace, moving with the breath. So each time that arm comes up, you're going to inhale, exhale back. You can go as slow as you want. Just make sure you're moving with the breath. If you want to deepen this, coming down to the forearm. Feeling it in that rib cage, making space in between the vertebrae. And then when you feel like you've had enough of those, coming back to center. And then we're going to come up onto our hands and knees. So if you have any knee issues and you want to come up onto a blanket on your knees, you can do that. So we're going to start with our cat and cow, and then I brought a very fun new way to do our spinal balance. So I know you're all excited for that. All right, so we're going to start cat and cow. We want our wrists, elbows, and shoulders in line, knees under the hips, tops of the feet flat on the floor. We're going to start with an inhale, bringing the chin up towards the horizon, dropping the belly towards the floor, tilting the hips forward. And then we're going to push in with the arms, rounding the spine. We're going to tuck the chin and the tailbone, using the belly button to come up to push out the air from the lungs. Inhale, coming back up to our cow. And exhale back to cat. Go a couple of times at your own rate, moving with the breath again. See if you can feel each vertebrae as you come up to your cow. See if you can feel each vertebrae as you go back up into your cat. Do 2 more, moving with the breath. And then when you're ready, meeting back in tabletop for our neutral spine. When you're ready, we're going to do a slightly different version of the spinal balance. So usually when we do it, we have one leg straight back, one arm straight forward. This time we're going to go sideways. So that arm's going to come out to the side, And then the leg is gonna come out to the side. And yes, it looks a lot easier than it is. Okay, so let's start with that left arm out to the side. And then we're gonna bring this right leg out. And then coming back to center, we'll go to the other side. So that right leg comes out to the, right arm out to the side, left leg out to the side. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, we're gonna come into our child's pose. You can come big toes together, knees nice and wide on the mat. And come down to a block, resting your forehead on a block or on the mat. Take a couple of breaths here. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to come back up to our tabletop and come into a thread the needle. So we're working up in our shoulders here. So we're going to start by using our breath with this as well. So the left hand is rooted into the mat. We're going to inhale that right arm up. Exhale, bring it underneath that left arm, coming down to that right shoulder, right side of the head. Take 2 more breaths here. And then pushing in with that left hand, coming back to tabletop. That right hand is rooted into the mat. We're going to take this left hand, inhale up. Exhale, thread it under that right arm, coming down to that left shoulder and left side of the head. Take 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, pushing in with that right hand, coming back to tabletop. From here, we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So if you want, you can walk the hands up just a little bit, give yourself a little room. Sometimes I have people take a block and set up their hands so that their index finger and thumb are making L's. It's going to help with the wrist a little bit. So we're going to curl the toes, pushing up with the hips towards the ceiling. Your feet can be wide at the bottom of the mat. And then we're going to push in with the arms, extending the torso, pushing the hips towards the back wall. Walking that dog, bending one knee, extending the opposite heel, back and forth a couple times. Stretching that calf and heel. And then before we do anything else, we're going to straighten the legs, bringing the kneecaps up towards the hips, pushing in with the hands, making that perfect upside down V. And then from here, we're going to step to the center of the mat, bringing the hands back to the feet, coming into a forward fold. Take a couple of breaths here, really letting that gravity help stretch those hamstrings. If you want, you can tighten the quads and loosen the hamstrings. Letting the head be heavy. If you want, you can walk the hands over towards the left. And then come back to center, coming over to the right. And then back to center. We'll take one more full deep breath here. And then grabbing opposite elbows, we're gonna roll up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow, take your time. Head is heavy, head comes up last. And we made it, we're all vertical. Yay. Okay, so let's get your yoga teacher's got sloping shoulders today, so we're gonna work on our mountain pose nice and strong. So first we wanna start with the feet. It's our foundation, our base. Rooting those feet into the earth. If you want, you can lift your toes up, feeling all four corners of the feet. Setting the toes back down, feeling how important those toes are for our balance. Ankles, knees, and hips are stacked. And then a slight little forward tilt of the pelvis, holding in all those vital internal organs. We're gonna lift with the sternum and drop the rib cage down. If we're just pulling up the sternum, we're gonna pinch that upper back there. So we wanna lift up and drop down. Shoulders come away from the ears, pulling the shoulder blades towards each other, opening up the clavicle here. Chin over the hollow of the throat. Hands facing each other or towards the front. Feeling that shoulder rotation. We've got that invisible rope from the base of the spine coming all the way up through the crown of the head towards the sky. Feeling space in between the vertebrae. Energy goes down, energy comes up into those nice strong thighs. And then a whole 5 minutes of all those yoga cliches about mountains and strength and weather, and we'll skip that today. Just taking 2 full deep breaths here. Feeling that strength and solidness of our mountain pose. Excellent. All right, coming into movement. So we're going to do our half sun salutation, and then we'll come down and work with our blocks with lunges. Yay, everybody's favorite, I can tell. Okay, so if you're at the front of the mat, that's fine. Anywhere works. We're not going to be moving too much yet. So rooting the feet in, hip width distance apart, hands together at the heart. We'll do 3 rounds, and we'll just go one after the other. Alrighty, here we go. So we'll take a nice deep inhale, dropping the hands down, hands up towards the sky. Exhale, arms out to the side, swan dive into that forward fold. Inhale, coming halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out to the side, hands come all the way up. Second one, exhale, arms out to the side, forward fold. Inhale, coming halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out to the side, coming all the way up. We're gonna go one more time. Exhale, hands out to the side, swan dive into that forward fold. Inhale, coming halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out to the side, coming all the way up to the top. Exhale, palms together, hands come down to the heart. Excellent. Okay. So if you have any knee issues and you want to grab a blanket to put under your knee, we're going to come down and use our blocks. So you need 2. If you don't have 2, and if they're, you want them to be the same size. same thickness. So we're going to start with our blocks at the top of the mat. And then from here, we're going to come into our forward fold. And I think they showed almost everybody before class started. We want to have our 3 fingers in front of the block and then thumb and pinky on the outside. That's going to give us our best stability for our blocks. Okay, so we're going to come into our forward fold, hands on the blocks. We're going to start by stepping this right leg all the way back. And you can always adjust the blocks if they're too far up. And then we're going to come down onto that right knee into our low lunge. So down to the right knee. And you can use a chair too if the blocks are too low. And then the top of that right foot is flat on the mat. Okay, so we've got our balance here on our right knee and our hands on the blocks. You can stay right here, or if you want, you can bring your hands up to that left knee. And if you've got a funny spot on that right knee, you can adjust that coming forward or back. And you can stay right here, or if you want, you can extend both arms up. So we're getting into that stretch in the front of that right hip. Excellent. And then we're going to bring our hands back down to the blocks. We're going to do one more little thing here. So we're going to take this right hand and leave it right where it is. We're going to take this left arm and bring it up. So we're doing a revolved lift. And if that block is up too high, you can go down to the floor, you can go up to that knee. Excellent. And then we're going to bring this left hand down, and both hands on the blocks. We're going to flip those right toes. We're going to lift the hips up and send them back so that we have room to step that right foot forward. And then you can cross the elbows and roll up nice and slow. Excellent. Okay. I gotta do it on the other side. Fun of yoga. Okay, ready? We're gonna come into that forward fold. And know that at any time, if you've got to adjust anything, you can. Moving stuff around. So we've got our blocks. So we're going to step that left leg all the way back. Coming down to that left knee. Top of that left foot is flat on the floor. Take a moment, get your bearings. And then if you want, you are welcome to stay right here. If you want, you can come up to that right knee. Again, feeling that stretch in the front of that left hip. And again, you can stay right here. Otherwise, if you want, bringing both arms straight up. One more breath here. And then coming back down to the blocks. We're going to keep this left hand on this left block. Bringing this right arm up to the other side for a revolved lunge here. And then we're going to bring that right arm down. Flipping those left toes, bringing those hips all the way up, making space so we can step that left foot forward. Take a moment in this forward fold. Clasping opposite elbows, we're gonna roll up nice and slow. Take your time. Excellent. Okay, so we can move the blocks sort of out of the way. We'll come back to them in a little bit. So we'll do a little movement with our Warrior Two. Last night we did all three of them, but tonight we'll just stick with it. Okay, so we're gonna start, everybody's in the middle of their mat. Let's come all the way up to the front of the mat. We're gonna lift that left knee up and step that left leg back. This right knee comes over that right ankle. The right heel is in line with the with the left arch. The torso is pointing north for you guys. Hands together at the heart. And then we're gonna open the arms out to the sides. Gaze is over those right fingers. Shoulders come away from the ears. And then we want this torso perpendicular to the floor. So we won't be leaning any which way, straight up and down. All right, I think you guys have done some of these, but we're gonna go around in just one to the other, from one to the next. We're gonna take this left arm, drop it down to that left leg, open that right palm up, coming up to the ceiling for our peaceful warrior. If your back is open and you want to go a little bit further, you can bring that right hand to your lower back and bring that hand further. Otherwise, just stay where you are. And then we're going to bring this right forearm down to this right thigh. For our side angle pose, the bicep is right by the ear, so that left hand comes over. Excellent. And then we're going to windmill back to Warrior Two. So using that left arm coming back up. Coming back into that right knee over that right ankle. Finding that nice tall mountain in our Warrior Two. And then we've got one more here, so we're going to turn the palms facing the back. Go. And then bring the hands together behind the back, clasping the fists together, bringing the hands down towards the floor, opening up those tight shoulders, and then we're going to bring this right shoulder to that right thigh for our humble warrior. So nice, strong feet. And then when you're ready, using those hands, pulling back up. Excellent. We're going to take this right foot and turn it parallel to the left foot so that they're both facing the same direction. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So we'll start with the hands on the hips. Chest comes forward, hips go back. We're just going to go to our edge, wherever that may be today. If you have a block and you want to come down to a block, or if your hands come down to the floor, if they just want to stay right at the hips, that's fine. Take one or two more breaths here. And then bringing the hands back up to the hips, pushing in with the feet, coming up with a nice strong core. Very good, excellent. Okay, from here you can step, hop, or pigeon toe the feet together. You can bend the knees and step the feet together, or pigeon toe, however you want to do it. Okay, so then we're going to come to the other side. So starting at the top of the mat, we're going to take a right knee up, step that right foot back, left knee over that left ankle, heel of that left foot in line with the arch of that right foot. So we want to get our foundation set before we're getting too deep into this. Hands together at the heart, arms open, checking that knee again. torsos facing the windows. Gaze is over those left fingers. Shoulders come away from the ears. Take 1 or 2 breaths here before we start moving into our little routine. So we're going to drop this right hand down to the right thigh. Left palm open up to the ceiling for Peaceful Warrior. If you want, you can bring that right arm to the lower back and increase your back bend. And then we're going to bring that left forearm down to that left thigh. Right bicep by the ear. The right arm comes overhead. And then we're going to windmill into our Warrior 2 again. Checking in with that left knee. And then from here, we're going to turn the palms towards the back, bringing the hands together at the heart or behind the back. Bringing the hands down towards the floor, opening up those shoulders, left shoulder towards that left knee into Humble Warrior. And then from here, we're going to bring both hands up, or having the hands help us come back up. We're going to do one more wide-legged forward fold, and we're going to throw our rainbow pose in with it. So we're going to turn both feet pointing in the same direction. I'm going to flip around. So if you want to grab a block, if you're a little far off the floor, you can grab a block before you go down. Otherwise, you can just make the motions with your hands, that's fine. So we're going to start with our wide-legged forward fold. Chest comes forward, hips go back. And then wherever we get to with this, we're going to bring our left hand down. So if it's on a block, that's fine, or if it's just kind of dangling in the air, you can do that too. We're going to take this right hand, starting next to the left hand, pretending we have a paintbrush with the fingers, and we're going to swoop this up and make a rainbow coming all the way up to 180 degrees. So our left hand is on the floor in front of us, that right hand is straight above it, plumb line, or as close as you can get. So this is our rainbow pose, and this is half of it. Then we bring this right hand back down to meet the left, and the left hand sweeps up, drawing that rainbow, sparkles and unicorns into our rainbow pose. And depending on your neck, you can either be looking down at that right hand or looking up at that left hand. And then we're going to bring this left hand back down to the right. Both hands on the hips. Pushing in with the feet. Coming up with that nice, strong core. And then from here, you can pigeon toe or bend the knees and step the feet together. Or in some yoga traditions, they hop the feet together, but my knees and ankles don't want to do that. All right, oh my gosh. So we're gonna do a whole bunch more stuff today. Okay, let's do one more thing and then we'll come down to the mat. So we're gonna come into a triangle pose and then we'll come down. All right, so if you like a block when you're in your triangle pose, you can bring that kind of in the middle. And we're gonna start, you guys are always in the center of your mats. So we're gonna come all the way back, just to change things up. We don't wanna get into a routine. We'll step this right foot forward. So with our triangle pose, we wanna keep this front knee mostly straight. You can have a little bit of a bend in it. If you have knee issues, the best thing to do for it is to kind of tighten around the kneecap and kind of hug it up instead of bending it too much or the other. So just making it nice and strong. This back foot is at 45 degrees. And we're gonna start with our torso facing north. So bring the hands together at the heart, arms open, kind of like our warrior two, but that front knee stays mostly straight. We're gonna bring this left hip towards that back wall, towards the kitchen, and then we're gonna extend that right arm forward till we hit our edge, and then we're going to pivot. So you can come down to this block, and this left hand can be straight up, or if that's too much on your shoulder, you can rest it on your hip. And you can have your hand on a block, or if that's too far, on your shin. So what we want to open up here is this front of the chest. This left foot is coming in so that we've got an internal rotation on that left thigh. And if anybody is up for it, we're going to do a revolved triangle here. So we're going to bring this left hand down either to that shin or to a block. And then what the revolved part entails is bringing this right arm up the other side. So that left hand is down, that right arm is up. Excellent. Bringing that right hand down. We're going to turn that left foot and step the feet together. Okay. One more side. Ready? Okay, so now we're up at the front of the mat. We'll step this right foot back. Keeping that left knee mostly straight, putting a little bend in it if you need to. Torso is facing the windows. Hands together at the heart, arms out to the sides. We're going to bring this right hip towards that back wall again. Extending with that left arm and then hinging. You can come down to a block or the chin. This right hand is straight up, so we're opening the front of the chest. And then you can stay right here if you want to revolve this side of the triangle, bringing that right arm down, left arm comes up. And then we'll bring that left arm down, pivot that right foot, step that right foot forward, coming up nice and slow. All right, you guys are working hard today. All right, we're gonna come down to the mat. So if you want, you can just come and sit. If you want to, I usually come down into a squat and then come down. So your class, your choice today. If you're coming down into the squat, come down, pushing the knees apart with the elbows, hands together at the heart, keeping that spine nice and straight. And then bringing hands behind and sitting. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to start with our feet in the mat, bending the knees. Hands come onto the knees, and we're going to roll back. So just walking the feet back as we come down to the flat of the back. Head comes down. And then giving yourself a nice, generous hug, squeezing the knees into the chest. And then if you'd like, you can rock side to side. Rolling all that tension out in the back. Giving yourself a nice spinal massage. From here, we're going to come into a happy baby. So bending the knees so that the soles of the feet come up towards the ceiling. You can grab the shins or the ankles, the outside of the feet, or 2 fingers around the big toes. Those knees come towards the armpits, and then rocking side to side. Like a happy baby that just grabbed their own feet. And this is getting into a compression in the hips. So then when we release it, we get all that fluid coming back in. Excellent. Okay, releasing the feet. We're going to bring the feet down to the mat one at a time, nice and slow. And from here, we're going to bring that left foot on top of that right thigh. Taking that left hand, pushing that left knee away from the chest, opening up that left hip. From here, you can stay right here, or you can grab that knee, the right knee, bring it towards the chest, or extend that right foot towards the ceiling, wrapping both hands behind the right thigh, gently bringing that right leg towards the chest. So we've got an upside down 4, and then we'll release that right foot to the mat. That left foot comes down. And then going to the other side, bringing that right foot on top of that left thigh, pushing that right knee away from the chest with the right hand. And then from here, you can stay right here, or you can bring that left knee towards the chest, or extend that left foot towards the ceiling, wrapping the hands around the left thigh, bringing that left leg towards the chest. And then releasing that left foot down to the mat. But right foot comes down to the mat, and then extending that right leg all the way straight out. We're going to slide both hips over towards the left side, and then that left foot comes on top of that right thigh. Both arms come out to the sides for stability. We're going to roll up onto that right hip. That left knee comes towards the right side of the floor. You can rest your right hand on top of that left knee. And if it's okay with your neck, looking out over that left hand. So we've got a full body twist from the toes to the top of the head, squeezing out every last bit of tension. Take one more full breath here. And then right hand comes out to the side, rolling back to center. Left foot comes down to the mat and then all the way straight out. Bending that right knee, bringing that right foot to the mat. You're going to slide both hips over towards the right. Right foot on top of that left thigh. Both arms out to the side. We're going to roll up onto that left hip. Left hand comes on top of that right knee. And if it's okay with your neck, looking out over that right hand. Letting any last bit of tension roll off the body, seep into the earth. then when you're ready, rolling back to center. That right foot comes down to the mat and then all the way straight out. Letting the feet be wide at the bottom of your mat to release the hips. Arms come down to the sides and then out a little further to release those shoulders. All that hard work they did today. So we're going to come into our final relaxation pose. I'm going to hop up and turn the lights down. And then we'll do a full body relaxation. Walking down the body, relaxing each part as we go. Starting with the feet. Relax the toes and the soles of the feet. Release the ankles. Relax the calves. Release the knees. Relax the thighs. Let the pelvis be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the abdomen. Release the rib cage and let go of breath. Let the shoulders be heavy and fall into the earth. Relax the upper arm, elbow, and lower arm. Release the wrists. Relax the hands, fingers and palms. Relax the throat and the back of the neck. Relax the jaw. Let the tongue be heavy and fall away from the roof of the mouth. Let the eyes be heavy and fall to the back of the head. Smooth the forehead and face. Let any last thoughts seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe you. We'll take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Roll your head side to side. When you're ready, and with an inhale, rolling up onto your right or left side. When you're ready, and again with an inhale, using your upper arm to push up to a comfortable seated position. And to bring breath back into the body and find us safely on our way, we'll finish with a lotus breath. So the pinky and the thumb stay together. We inhale, the fingers open, and exhale, close. And we'll do it 4 times. Ready? Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One last time. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. As we go forth out into this beautiful fall day, let's go forth with kindness and compassion, not just for others, but especially for ourselves. If you'd like, you may bow and say namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you.
Kate.
Thank you.
So when are your classes on Friday?
Tuesday night and Friday morning.
Where?
In Wheaton,